Fort Hill and Catoctin fans both appreciating that great effort by the Fort Hill High School marching band. That was a particularly stirring rendition today. The national anthem brought to you by Upchurch Funeral Home, serving all faiths.
Oh, we just lost our connection. It's terrible.
Thank you to Wendy Upchurch and all the nice people at Upchurch again sponsoring our national anthem.
Brock, one thing that we're not
Man, that was bad.
issue here at could be today is the sun hitting receivers in the face. Of course, we're not used to seeing a lot of passing when we broadcast from Greenway. But right now the sun is behind the scoreboard. So if you're heading towards Fort Hill High School and you're looking back, the sun could be an issue.
Yeah, you'd be looking right back into that. And we'll see how that transpires. The wind, as Tim Kane described, is really not going to be a factor. And as I looked at the scoreboard to my left, those flags are not starched like they were a couple of weeks ago on homecoming, just fluttering in the breeze. Beautiful setting here today.
Brock, mentioning the passing game last week, neither Southern nor Fort Hill completed a pass. No, it's not what we do.
That's one way in Fort Hill's game.
Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey, oh! Wait a minute. Before we leave, let me tell you a little something. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this is Fort Hill, the home of the Sentinels. We're at the Greenway Stadium. My name is Michael Betteridge. I'll be bringing you the 1A West Regional Championship here live from Cumberland, Maryland. Joined in the press box with Will Burns. We've got an exciting football game lined up for you tonight. And the only reason this game is possible is because of our great local sponsors, Catoctin Orchards, Catoctin Wildlife Preserve, the Center of Life Chiropractic, Cousins Ace Hardware of Thurmont, DentedToolbox.com, Emmitsburg Glass, Happy Dog Groomers, Mix Plumbing and Heating, Shuff's Meat Market, and finally, Woodsboro Bank. Thank you for sponsoring this 1A West Regional Final here at beautiful Greenway Stadium, historic Greenway Stadium. Will, how's it look out there on the field?
It looks really good. Like I mentioned earlier, they did a great job clearing the field for this game today. They would not have been able to gotten it cleared by last night. That game would not have been possible. But now, ready for game time.
Yes, we are. And the traditional down the steps celebration with the big helmet at the west end of the field here for the Sentinels is just about a moment or two away. We'll actually take a look at that for you. It's pretty much a tradition here, and it's been talked about and everything, but there's a lot of tradition here. High school football is huge up here in Allegheny County. Frederick is getting there. Frederick is, we've got, hey, just a testament to how big Frederick County football is. We've got not one, but we've got 3 teams in the playoffs here, and Allegheny County can't say that.
No, they can't. We have 3 teams, well, at least 2 teams heading into the state semifinals, and depending on the day, we may have a third.
Absolutely. Oakdale, congratulations, winner of the 2A West final yesterday at Damascus. And Leonore, congratulations, winner of the 3A West final. Both teams move on to play next Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, in the opening round of the state semifinals. Location to be determined, but I believe both those teams will probably have home field advantage.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. I believe they both are the higher rated team.
Okay, Catoctin comes into this game with a record of 10-1. They have a total of 9 playoff appearances, Will. They're 9-8 overall in the state and region. Their last playoff appearance was in 2013 in the regional semi, the first round. So they're here tonight by virtue of a big game last week in the mud against Boonesboro.
Yeah, that game was intense. That game, we couldn't tell which way that was going to swing. That was anybody's game to win that last week.
But more importantly, these players on this team have never seen playoff experience. That was their first ever playoff experience game. There goes the big buzzer that's signaling that the team's about to come out. It's a lot of hype up here. It's a storied program, and they show out in droves. Although I'm looking at a very sparsely populated stadium tonight.
Yeah. I think the snow may have kept some people away. But as a player coming into this, as a visiting player coming into a place with a lot of traditions, it may scare you. It may scare you right off the bat, but once that first hit comes in, all that goes right out the window.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And it can be a little intimidating. This is a 6,000-seat stadium. It's a big venue. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think, am I right or wrong, is the Catoctin crowd bigger than the Fort Hill crowd?
It looks like it. It looks like it from our side.
All right, but I do see a few red jerseys here on the press box side, so we're high atop the stadium here at Greenway. And, I want to talk a little bit about Fort Hill now because their numbers are really impressive. Fort Hill comes in 10-0 this season, not lost a game in November in 23 attempts. They've 23 straight wins in the month of November. They've won the state championship. You ready for this? Well, 2013, 14, 15, and 16.
And then they were a runner-up last year against
Dunbar.
Yes.
So they were in the state championship the last 5 years in a row. 4 years in a row, not counting this one.
Talk about a dynasty.
Yeah, they've been in 16 playoff games in the past 20 years. As a matter of fact, they hold the state record. Their absolute state record in playoffs is 51-26 overall for their entire career.
And they have a stingy defense, only allowing 7 points a game. They've given up 70 total points in the season, and their starting D only gave up 29 points when on the field. They have a very stingy defense, led by senior inside linebacker Colton Crabtree. He has over 100 tackles this year.
All right, we were able to catch up with Coach Williams on the sidelines. We're going to run that interview for you real quick right before the game starts.
Your pregame on the field with Coach Doug Williams. Coach, how they doing today?
Oh, doing great, man. Excited. It's exciting to be here. The kids are excited, man. Let's see what happens.
I've heard some talk that it's better to play this on a Saturday on a nice day for you guys. Give you a better passing offense.
Well, I don't know. I thought we passed the ball pretty good in the mud the other night, so we'll take any weather. This is what the Lord decided, so that's what we'll go with.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was one of the better games we've seen in a while, isn't it?
That was a great game, man. Our kids, the weather did not affect them, so that was pretty cool.
So how they doing for this big venue? It's kind of a little bit intimidating, but I don't see much crowd out here yet. So how they doing mentally?
They seem to be doing good, but it's hard for me to read kids before the game, so we'll see what happens after kickoff.
Your thoughts on Oakdale Linganore?
I'm so excited for Coach Stein and Oakdale, man. What a lifetime victory, win, massive. People will never forget that game. I'm so excited for Coach Stein.
What do you think the key to today's game is going to be for you?
The key is our offense has to be getting first downs and touchdowns. That's going to be the key. Their offense is real good. We're going to have to slow them down. Their offense is going to have to score some points. They got an excellent field goal kicker, so we need touchdowns.
Yeah. Okay, Coach, best of luck to you today, and, we're with you up there in the booth.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
All right, that was Coach Williams from down on the field a few minutes ago, and we're just moments away from the opening kickoff. The coin toss has been resolved out on the field between the officials. Both teams are on their sidelines getting their last-minute instructions from their coaches. We want to thank you for tuning in, 1450 AM, and online at WTHU.org. Will, he mentioned something interesting. He said the key is going to be moving the chains and scoring points.
Yeah, you do not want to get bogged down against this defense. Like I mentioned earlier, they're very stingy. But also, you need to score points every possession you get the ball. I mean, that's the only way you can come away with a win this week.
All right, both teams are out on the field. Fort Hill will kick off left to right on your radio dial to the Catoctin Cougars. The ball teed up on the 40 for Fort Hill. And back deep, Catoctin has two players standing on their own 5-yard line. And this game is about to be underway. Here's the run-up and the kick. Nice, high, deep end-over-end kick, and this guy can kick the ball. The kicker for the Fort Hill team, he's not just the best in the state. I understand he's the best in the nation. This guy has been recruited. I'm looking up his name here for you. He's been
Danny
recruited.
King.
What is it?
Danny King.
Danny King has been recruited by Alabama, Michigan, and North Carolina, and this guy is a difference maker. As Catoctin has their first possession of this game on their own 20-yard line, Christian Michael brings them out of the huddle. Up to the line of scrimmage, the Cougars go spread. Pistol formation. Michael's ready, and we've got movement right away. The Catoctin Cougars false started. Both receivers bolted on the hut one, and I think it was a snap count issue, so that's going to cost them 5.
Yeah, that was a snap count issue. I think both receivers heard the wrong snap count in the huddle or misremembered.
Not the way you want to see your team start out.
Definitely
the first
not.
play of the game.
The 20, now they're back to the 15. Tough position to be in.
Here we go. Spread it. Formation again. Baker on the right hip pocket. Michael wants to throw. Straight drop. Got a man wide open on the out. It's caught and dragged down at the 40. Call it the 42-yard line. That's a 27-yard completion from Michael to number 4, Travis Fields, as he just ran a little up and out, and they hooked up.
Now they're going to be keying in on Fields today. If it's anything like last week, he's going to have a huge game.
Looking for that slant. It's not there. He's got to scramble. He's going to get sacked. 3 defenders in the backfield. Number 1 from Fort Sentinel, Wyatt Bream with the tackle, the tight end defensive lineman for the Sentinels.
And we have an offensive lineman for Catoctin getting up pretty slowly, limping around a good bit. I believe that's number 64.
Yeah, number 64 is limping on that leg, and they've got a trainer just on the field now.
Isaac Dodson.
And Dodson is just a sophomore.
Let's see. That's Isaac Dodson coming off the field. He just got a little sting in that ankle there, that left leg. So he's coming off right now as they bring in a substitute for him. So the Cougars have it now on their own 34-yard line. It's going to be second and 17 for the Cougars. Straight drop. Michael wants to throw, got some pressure, steps up, fires it, intercepted, threw it right into the underneath receiver. He's down to the 20, the 15, the 10. It looks like he'll score standing up untouched. And so a pick 6 right off the bat for the Sentinels.
And that's exactly who I mentioned in the pregame show. Colton Crabtree, starting inside linebacker, the leader of this defense, comes up with a huge play to start off.
Well, Michael threw it right into his chest. I mean, it wasn't even close. He had a receiver behind him, but he had to read the underneath coverage, right?
Yeah, there was a big thing on that play. It was a coverage interception. All
right. King's out on the field for the PAT. There's a snap, the set, the kick is up, and man, he just drilled it. It went over the track, over the fence, and up the stairs, and just that quickly, lightning strikes here on the Sentinel side of the field, not the Cougars. So the Cougars throw a pick 6 in their opening possession. Not exactly the way you dial it up when you talk about offense. It starts. All right. The Cougars are going to regroup here on the near side. Far side, they're all huddled up. The Fort Hill will kick off once again to Catoctin. Catoctin's got to keep their composure well, and just relax and take it easy. Mistakes are going to happen on both sides of the equation. You just want to come out of this with the fewest mistakes.
Exactly.
Once again, 2 receivers back deep for the Cougars. King tees it up on the 40, and this guy, like we said, is probably about he's going to drill it through the end zone. I don't even know why Catoctin bothers putting 2 people back, but they have him.
It's a complete opposite from last week when they were just Boonesboro was squib kicking it up the middle.
Exactly. Here's the run up, the kick, high end over end, and it goes 5 yards deep into the end zone for a touchback. And they'll bring it out to the 20, where the Cougars will start with their second possession of the game, 1st and 10 from their own 20. And Michael's just got to settle down, and I'd like to see him see if they get their running game going.
Yeah, I don't know if you switch to the running game this early yet. I think you keep going with what you had planned and don't make any adjustments just yet.
Well, he's going with the spread, showing pass all the way, as he's got Jacob Baker on his left hip pocket. They show three in the box, but he goes with the fade up top. Oh, out of bounds, a little too far on the throw, a little too much on it. It goes in incomplete into the Fort Sentinel bench.
And there were no flags on the play, so no worry about any kind of interference from
Just some
either side.
incidental contact down there, that's all it was. As Michael throws one up on the quick go pattern from the first play. They shuttle the play into this huddle. Michael, the third-year starting quarterback, was 9 of 18 last week for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he's going to need at least that many to keep this team in it tonight. They come out sticking with the spread. On the slant, caught.
Didn't get there in time as they hit a little slant.
Good little 8-yard pickup on that. Goes all the way down to the 28-yard line where the Cougars will have it third and short.
And that was Mr. Clutch from last week, Travis Fields, coming up with that play.
Just inside that linebacker as he came inside, and they bounced it out underneath to draw the corner out of it. Hit the guy on the slant, and he dragged the defender with him for an extra yard or two down to the 27-yard line where the Cougars have it third and short.
Looks like Catoctin's having some confusion with their lineup for the wide receiver.
Empty backfield. Michael pulls it down, wants to run, but he's caught in the backfield and dropped for no gain. And did you notice the look on Travis Fields' face here as he talked to the coaches on the near side of the field? He said, "What happened? What happened?" I don't think that was the design play. So the Cougars go 3 and out. They're going to have to punt it away. As the Cougars looking a little unsettled here with some nerves, which is normal. Good snap. Not a great kick. It bounces out of bounds right at the 44-yard line. Make it right on the 50 as they mark it at midfield, where the Sentinels will take over for their first offensive performance, and they lead this 7-0, even though their offense has never touched the ball here tonight.
It's that stingy defense, like we mentioned.
All right, Fort Hill huddles up on their own 40. 1st and 10 for their first possession. Quarterback brings them out now. Wing left. 2-back set behind him. He turns and hands off to the left back. Off right tackle. Got a little bit of a seam there and runs through it for a 7-yard pickup.
And that was Swan, one of their 3 running backs in their running back committee, coming away with a gain of about 6.
They love to platoon those running backs at you, and they're not very big, but they're quick.
Absolutely not. Swan, maybe 5'6".
Okay, double wing set. Single backfield. They're going to run it across, pitch to the deep wing, right at the line of scrimmage. Beautiful play by number 6 as he clobbered him right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Catoctin defense was not fooled on that, not with the misdirection.
Good play by that inside linebacker to sniff that out.
Boy, he really drilled him, Jim.
That was amazing. He has 2 tackles. Yeah, I think
that was number 5 on the tackle, Christian Michael, the quarterback, from the linebacker. He doesn't normally play linebacker, but, you know, when you're in this, it could be the last game of his high school career. They're going to put their best player on the field, regardless of worrying about injury. There's the pitch to the left side, gets around the edge, caught and tackled for no gain. The Catoctin defense stiffens and holds.
That was a great job by getting to the edge by the Catoctin Cougars, getting containment on that play and not letting, couldn't catch a number on that one, but not letting the running back get anything else.
Here comes the punting unit out on the field. Standing deep, Colombo will punt the ball away as the Cougars send back. Eli Fry deep to receive the ball. Nice snap. There's a little bit of pressure. He gets it away. And Fry lets it bounce and it takes almost, oh, that was close. The ball hit the ground at the 1 yard line, bounced straight up in the air, and then forward momentum carried into the end zone for the touchback.
Yeah, it almost looked like it was just going to stay and plant.
It did look like it was going to be one of those wounded duck kicks that your special teams coaches love to see. So, Catoctin defense stays stiff and hold. Now we've got a huddle and a flag on the far side of the field on that. Let's see if we can sort this out. It's against Fort Hill.
Jim, there's a flag on the play. It looks like Catoctin's going to...
And they're asking Doug Williams, Coach Williams, if they want to take the penalty or waive it off. It's an illegal motion there. It's against Fort Hill. And they'll tack that on to the spot of the kick, which will give the Cougars the ball on the 25 far hash mark, 1st and 10 for their third possession of this first quarter, where the Sentinels lead at 7-0.
Sentinels intercepted one of Michael's passes and took it all the way untouched.
Now they bring it back over, and they're moving the ball to the middle of the field, not on the hash mark. They're putting it right smack dab in the middle of the field on the 25, where Michaels is ready with his spread. Showing blitz on the right side, they back out. A quick little hitter on the slant, and it's good for 7 yards. Once again, they're going to that slant. That to Eli Fry on a quick slant across the middle.
I tell you what, this Catoctin offensive line really has its job out for it today. They are giving up so much pressure.
And that's the way to neutralize that pressure, is the quick little hitter across the middle. That's going to bring up 2nd and 4 with the ball on the 31 as Michaels wants to throw again. He's got a scramble, got a wide open field. Breaks one tackle, spins. What a run by Christian Michael. A 10, 11, 12-yard gain all the way out to the 42 by Michael as he broke one guy's ankles.
Yeah, that was great second effort by Christian Michael.
What a spin move after the ankle break. He spin moved the second guy. 2 defenders couldn't bring him down, and he moves it all the way out. The chains are now on the 42, 1st and 10 for the Cougars in that spread. They haven't run the ball yet, and there it is, the first run of the game. Michael on the keeper, bounces it outside, pulls in 3, 4, 5 jerseys. Tackle made by number 50.
Colton Crabtree.
That's him.
There he is again. We're going to be calling his name a lot today.
So give him 2 yards on the carry, 2nd and 8 for the Cougars, as the ball is spotted just shy of the 45-yard line in Cougars territory.
Fort Hill was ready for that fake. They did not get fooled on that.
Well, it looked like Michaels had it outside. If he bounced it out, he had a little green space, but it's all about speed. Again, back to the quick hitter, bad throw, incomplete. Trying to hook up to Travis Fields, threw it behind him.
Fields, his main target from last week, had over 134 yards, 33 yards per catch, had 4 receptions.
Catoctin 3rd and, let's call it 7 for the Cougars. Big down here for Christian Michael. Wants to pitch. He's got the option pitch. It's covered well. They lose 3 on the... Let's say they lost 2 on that. It's going to bring up 4th and 9 for the Cougars.
It's almost like the Sentinels were listening in on their on the huddle.
Yeah, they knew where that was going. Number 62, Brian Uhl, on the tackle for the Sentinels as the punting unit comes onto the field, and 2 speedy Sentinels will go back deep. Standing on their own 26-yard line. There's the snap, good snap. This time a little bit better punt, kicks it away and out of bounds. He's got to stop trying to angle that thing out of bounds and get it downfield, because that field position game is costing them. That ball went out right at the 35-yard line, so that means it's only a net kick. It's 15 yards.
They must be afraid of what these returners can do.
I don't blame them. I'm afraid too. I'm just looking at them. They look fast, but you got to kick it a little bit better than that to stay in this thing.
Absolutely.
All right, Sentinels with the ball now on their own 35, 1st and 10. As we stand here looking out over the beautiful mountains here in Cumberland, Maryland. Snow-covered. Gorgeous day for football. Long count. Handoff on the counter action, in the seam, in the secondary, 11-yard gain, call it 10 on the spot, all the way out to the 45-yard line. Not sure if he got the first down. He's right at the marker.
Now, that's the second time Fort Hill's run that play, and for the second time in a row, they've gotten at least 6 yards.
Call it second and short, about a half a yard to go as the Sentinels break out in the double wing. Motion across the formation, handoff to the deep back straight ahead. Around he goes around the end, and he's run out of bounds after first down yardage. No, he cuts it back into the field, and he's dropped in Cougars territory. First down at the 46-yard line of the Cougars. So they move the ball well on 2 runs, getting around the edge and avoiding that good linebacker play from the inside of the Cougars in their last series. As the quarterback for Sentinels brings them out.
Yeah, without that, Askins would have lost yardage. That's a good point, Jim.
Under center now. Motion around back, handoff to the deep back, straight trap up the middle, into the secondary, one man to beat, and he stumbles and falls after a 17-yard gain all the way down to the 28-yard line of the Cougars. That was a nice run.
Now, I didn't get a number on that, but whoever made that tackle, that was a touchdown-saving tackle. That would have been 6 if he didn't make that.
Sentinels are huddled up. They break the huddle coming out. Quarterback looks over the defense. Down under center. Motion around back. Quick hitter. Wide open in the trap. Nobody there. One man to beat, and he beats them all for the score. Touchdown, Fort Hill Sentinels, as he just weaved his way through the second level of the Catoctin defense, and nobody even laid a hand on him.
Nope. And that was Swan, number 32, again showing us what he can do. Very fast, very quick, good lateral speed. Can make guys miss very easily.
So the Sentinels throw another 6 up on the board, and the PAT unit's on the field to attempt to make it 14. Snap, high snap, brings it down, the kick is up, and the kick is good, and that's it. The Fort Hill Sentinels have jumped out to a 14-point lead here in the first quarter. We'll be right back.
Catoctin Wildlife Preserve has over 600 exotic animals spread over 50 acres in the foothills of the Catoctin Mountains just off Route 15 south of Clermont. Enjoy our personal style of education and exhibits with interactive touch and feel opportunities. Open throughout November, weekends only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Check out our website, catoctinwildlifepreserve.org, or call us at 301-271-3180. That's 301-271-3180. Catoctin Wildlife Preserve. Amazing new animal friends are waiting to meet you today.
All right, once again, the Big Red has put 14 up on the board here against our hometown Catoctin Cougars. Cougars need to really do something right here, Will, on this next possession. As the ball is teed up on the 40, they'll be kicking off deep. Let's see if he puts it in the end zone. This one a little bit high of a floater. Drops 5 yards deep again, and in the end zone for the touchback.
Yeah, Catoctin has to score on this possession to stay in this before things get too dangerous.
Well, we expected this would be a track meet and that both these teams would have to score, that it really would be about putting points on the board. But so far, Catoctin has helped Fort Hill with 7 of those 14 points by giving up the pick. The Cougars need to return the favor sometime in this game soon. Because that is really the key to most of these playoff games. Is not who wins the game, but it's who loses it. So, by making mental errors and mistakes. So, here we have motion across the formation, and now we have timeout on the field. I do see a flag on the far side, and there's another mental error by the Cougars as the slot receiver on the far side came across the formation and moved towards the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped.
Yeah, that was an illegal motion, I believe.
So the Cougars continue to show some nerves out here tonight. Michael brings them out. Motion across. They're going to run the same play. That was the play they wanted, only he cut it up. They're looking deep. Got a man. Overthrows him. Travis Fields on the go pattern, up and out. And just over the outstretched fingertips, it falls incomplete. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 14 for the Cougars with the ball on their own 15-yard line.
Now, I see 64 for Catoctin is back out there. Isaac Dodson. Hopefully there was nothing too serious. I'm glad to see him back out on the field.
Cougars have it 2nd and 14 now. They're up real tight on both wide receivers. Oh, wow, Michael gets kissed hard in that backfield, but a great run off the right side on the read option. Michael paid the price for that one, but they moved the ball 15 yards on the carry and a first down.
It was a great block by number 74 on that play. Right towards the end of the play, he pancaked somebody. He threw him.
Christian Michael was being hit in the face as he pitched the ball. Almost simultaneously, just great presence of mind just to get that ball out and pick up that first down, which was huge. Wants to pass, straight drop, looking downfield, got a man, throws it into the coverage and batted away by the Sentinel defender.
That was intended for Eli Fry.
Number 11 on the breakup.
That was Davian Little.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Cougars with the ball right on the 30-yard line as the Cougars look over here to the near side as Coach Chris Grimes signals the play into the huddle. Cougars break out to the line of scrimmage. Michael directing a little traffic out there on the field as he goes 4 receivers wide, wing right. The slot and goes in motion across. He wants to pass, got a quick little slant, and he throws it up and behind the receiver, Travis Fields. Check that. That was Eli Fry, and just a bad throw by Michael right there.
Yeah, plus that was really good coverage by number 11 again, Davian Little.
Well, notice how tight they're playing those receivers. They're playing them right on the line of scrimmage. So let's see if they start to set up a little stop-and-go action here with those receivers. But I guess they figure their speed is going to be able to challenge the outside receivers. Michael brings them out now. This time, empty backfield, 5 receivers out in the pattern. They shift into a deep cover. Catoctin throws it up and out, and this is incomplete again. And that's going to bring out the punting unit.
Great job by Fort Hill's defense to read what was happening pre-snap and then adjust. They dropped a safety really deep,
Yes.
almost 20 yards back, as soon as they saw it was an empty backfield.
Catoctin shifted into that 5 receiver set, and they moved their defense into a 3-deep cover. And that was successful to pick up that receiver deep. There's a snap. He punts, aiming for the angling it out of the sidelines to the side. He tries to catch on the run, and that time, that was a really good kick because it went right through the hands of the receiver and bounced out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Best kick of the game for Catoctin.
The receiver's lucky he didn't. Well, he did muff the punt. It just went out of bounds.
Yeah, and he's slapping his hands together, and a little upset that he wasn't able to put that away. As the Cougars have them back now on the 31-yard line, the defense needs to come alive in this one because they were gashed on runs off around the end and off tackle in Sentinel's last possession. As the Sentinels come out, 2-back backfield, motion across, handoff on the counter, nobody there, plenty of blocking, guys got 10 yards, make it 15 on the carry. They have got a really well-designed offense.
They're just daring you to stop their run game. They're going to keep running it, until you can do something to actually stop them. And so far, Catoctin, they don't have an answer yet.
No, they haven't, but it's the counter. The counter is what's giving Catoctin fits right here because they're flowing to the ball, but the action is going the other way, and it's really just about one-on-one blocking. That's been the success for the Sentinels so far as they shift into a 2-back set. The handoff on the straight off-tackle trap. He breaks one tackle, pops it into the second level, and picks up 9 yards on the carry.
And that was Swan again, number 32, Carter Swan. making a play.
So they're really, like I said, they're continuing to gash that defense now as they run right at them, bringing it right at Catoctin and starting to get that line of scrimmage move 5 yards off the ball on every series. Sentinels with the ball now. Motion across. Handoff around the right end. Nobody out there at all. Wide open field. 10-yard carry. And that's the problem. That's been the problem all day. Those outside corners are going downfield to cover the receivers, and nobody's flowing to the ball from the safety position to cover that run around the end.
And plus, all Fort Hill did was railroad it the other way. They reversed the play, ran the same thing as the last play. I mean, I don't know what much more you can do except for they're telegraphing everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're everything out so far in this first half has been counter motion. So they continue to confuse the defense. With the ball on the 42-yard line in Cougars territory, they pitch to the outside, runs inside the linebacker. The linebacker completely whiffs on the tackle, and it's a 6-yard gain.
They're averaging Fort Hill's averaging at least 6 to 7 yards per rush. It's pretty scary.
2nd and 4 now for the Sentinels with the ball on the 36-yard line as they continue to move down as we've got 1:37 to go in this first quarter with the Sentinels up 14-0. Double wing set. Then they shift into a two-back set. Straight ahead off left tackle. Nobody there to catch. One tackle broken, another tackle broken and brought down after a 10-yard gain into the 24-yard line. They're making it look easy.
That Carter Swan again. He can plant, cut, and juke better than anyone I've seen in high school football.
Well, he's got 4.4 speed and a 40-inch vertical. I mean, the kid is just, and he's only 5'6", so...
I think you mentioned he can bench press 300 pounds?
Yes, he can bench 300, and, get this, he's a little, you can't find him in the backfield. He disappears. They fake the hand around, and the quarterback keeper off tackle, nobody there, he'll score. Into the end zone, standing up on a beautiful option quarterback keeper off left tackle. The blocking was there. The Cougars heads down. They're walking slowly back to the line of scrimmage. They know they're in a dogfight.
That was a really good design play. All Blake Beal, the starting quarterback for Fort Hill, had to do was follow his blockers, and then he was home.
So with 55 seconds left to go in the first quarter, we have a 20-0 ball game here with the Sentinels on top at Greenway Stadium as they tee it up for the PAT. High snap, he brings it down, gets the kick away, and it is good. And those guys just can't make any mistakes out there right now.
No.
This is all Fort Hill Sentinels this entire first quarter. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll step aside for a quick break and be right back after this important commercial message from our sponsors.
It's time to order your Thanksgiving pie from the Shamrock Restaurant in Vermont. Choose a traditional favorite like pumpkin or apple, caramel apple, walnut, cranberry apple, or blueberry apple crumb. Or pick up a cherry, blueberry, or peach pie. And then there's Shamrock peach, blueberry, and cherry combo pie, peanut butter fudge pie, or Mrs. Fitz's original recipe, minced meat pie. Order now for pickup before Thanksgiving, including special Tuesday hours. The Shamrock will be closed Thanksgiving Day. The Shamrock US 15 Vermont and online at shamrockrestaurant.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The Sentinels have jumped out to a 21-0 lead as Danny King, the kicker for the Sentinels, drills it deep into the end zone for the fourth time in this game. And the Cougars are walking slow. That's all I can say, slowly. It has been all Fort Hill in this first quarter with a pick six and some great running by that offense. The Cougars have had a couple of flashes that have looked good, but they've had a couple of bad mistakes that have cost them yardage in this game. As Michael straight drop, wants to pass, looking deep, throws it up top and over the receiver for 5 yards, and Travis Fields better watch himself because he pushed the defender after the play was over, and he's going to get himself a flag if he does that again.
Yeah, you got to be careful doing that. You don't want any kind of personal flags.
All right, 2nd and 10. Michael not able to connect for the last 3 throws in a row. Ball spotted up on the 20-yard line for the Cougars. Trips left, lone receiver on the right, and now they shift into a slot. All 3 covered up. Michael on the keeper, read option, pulls it in and runs it off tackle for about 2 yards on the carry.
And they had both the quarterback and the pitchman covered on that play. That they had the option perfectly defended on that.
Absolutely.
They even had it down to the correct side.
And the receivers here on the near side unable to get any separation whatsoever on that. So that makes it even more problematic. That play is not going to work. But the reason you spread is to draw the defense out. Motion across the formation. Michael wants to pass, looking right, steps up in the pocket, got some pressure, fires it, dropped. Beautiful coverage by number 34 for the Sentinels as he batted it down out of the receiver's hands, even though he was behind him.
And that was dropped by Cameron Bumgardner, that was the intended receiver.
Jaden Haynes on the breakup for the Sentinels, and the Cougars put their punting unit out on the field. As the Sentinels defense once again stiffens and holds. Standing on his own 10-yard line, there's a good snap. He angles it away. It's going to bounce, and they're going to let it go all the way down, where it'll be down at the good Catoctin roll, as it rolls an additional 10 yards, all the way down to the 37-yard line, where Fort Hill will take over 1st and 10 from their own 37. We want to thank our sponsors who made this possible. You know, Will, these games are very, there's a lot that goes into making this happen. And one of our great sponsors, Emmitsburg Glass, over there, right there off of Route 15, they are a glass company, a reflection of quality. They have full-service glass and glazing subcontractor with over 30 years of experience servicing in Maryland, D.C., and Northern Virginia. They specialize, Will, in commercial, mixed-use residential, and institutional. And they do, you know, the front of buildings, those facades that you see, the glass facades and everything that are so beautiful nowadays, aluminum curtain walls, storefronts, windows, composite panels, and everything, including blast-resistant and glaring. Emmitsburg Glass, a big Catoctin Cougars fans out there. They love them. Matter of fact, I understand the owner of the company's son is a friend of yours. We heard that through the grapevine. I'll tell you all about that one. So, Emmitsburg Glass, thank you for sponsoring today's football game here live from Greenway Stadium. All right, if you just joined us, the Sentinels with an impressive first quarter have jumped out to a 21-0 lead as we move here into 12 minutes on the clock in the second quarter. We changed directions. We flipped the field where the Sentinels will now be moving eastbound or right to left on your radio dial as number 19, Beal, goes under center. Handoff off tackle, straight ahead running. I thought it was the ball came out, but it's a helmet. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
I thought the ball was out. I should say ball's out. An old coach's reflex, but that was somebody's Catoctin player's helmet.
And he'll have to come sit out a play. As per the rules.
And 6. That was a 4-yard pickup for the Sentinels. Beal brings him out. Looks over the defense. Leans down under center. Wants to throw a quick little out, and he got him. He hooks up. Oh, what a move by that outside receiver as he completely whiffs on the tackle, that cornerback, and he cuts to the outside, and the guy just leaves the guys laying on the ground, and we've got a yellow hanky on the far side of the field now.
That was great personal effort by number 8, Anthony Smith.
Well, he took one step inside, the receiver went with him, and then he cut out. But this one's going to come back because it's going against the Sentinels, and this is their first penalty of the game. Wait for the official call on the field as they move him all the way back to the 39-yard line in Sentinels territory, where it'll be 2nd and 8. It was a crackback block, was the penalty below the knees, and that's going to create a 2nd and 8 for this dangerous Fort Hill offense. Beal, there's moving, encroachment, and the Cougars are going to give them a 5 as a gift.
Yeah, that was definitely encouragement. I did not see any offensive lineman move. That was definitely the defensive line.
That's just a great hard count by Beal, the quarterback. No, they're saying there was movement after all.
Not too sure about that one.
Yeah, well,
I'll go with the refs.
Yeah, we'll go with the refs. They're standing right there, and we're up here 100 yards away, so it must have been a lineman that drew that defender into the contact, so they move him back 5 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and 12 for the Sentinels. 2 back-to-back penalties now. The Cougars need to capitalize on those mistakes. They go counter again, caught in the backfield, but he can't bring him down. But the backside pursuit cleans it up after a 3-yard gain. So that'll bring it out to 3rd and 9 for Fort Hill.
And that was one of Fort Hill's star running backs, Tariq Powell. They can just keep switching running backs out at will. They can tire you out.
All right, here we go. Double wing set, look and run all the way. As he sits down, Beal has motion, hands off to the motion back, reverse, going off tackle, into the 2nd level, 1st down yardage, and they move the chains. That was a nifty play as they showed jet sweep, and then they reversed off the jet sweep.
It was a great job, though, by the Catoctin Cougars defense to not get, they got fooled, but they were able to recover quick enough to not let that be a touchdown.
But they do move the chains right up to the 49-yard line, still in Sentinels territory. A fresh set of downs for the Big Red. Beal under center. Hands off tackle to the left, breaks one tackle, into the secondary, still on his feet, breaks another, and the 3rd tackler for the Cougars brings him down, but not until he tacks 13 yards on in that gain.
I think at least 5 people got a hand on him, and you can't arm tackle 32 Swan.
No, you can't. And that ball's all the way down now on the 35-yard line of the Cougars. And if you notice something, all the Cougars have their hands on their hips.
Yeah, they look gassed.
And they look gassed. They've been running around the field trying to catch these quick little scat backs all day. At least all of this first half, which has 9:33 to go in it. Motion around back, hand off on the counter. Caught at the line of scrimmage and dragged down. Great play by number 8 as he beats his chest.
Number 8 being Jacob Baker, the junior.
So Baker on the tackle, and they're running that counter right at the Cougars, but that didn't fool Baker that time as he holds them to 1 yard. Let's give him 2 on the spot. We'll bring up 2nd and 8 with the ball on the 33-yard line as the Sentinels come out to the line of scrimmage. Here we go. Under center, Beal. Long count. Fakes the reverse, rolls to his right, wants to throw, got a man wide open in the 20-yard line. Caught, down to the 15, 10, still on his feet, and dropped at the 5.
Ball's out. Ball is out.
No, that's a helmet. Was that the ball or the helmet?
That was the ball.
That was the ball this time. It looked like the helmet was that. We have a glare. We're looking right into the sun. In that far corner of the field, that is a Catoctin touchback as they recover the ball in the end zone. The ball came out. Catoctin gets the biggest break of the game right now.
Yep, and that looked like it was going to be a great play for number 8, Anthony Smith of Fort Hill. But he lost control of the ball, and it's now Catoctin's.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, those guys are so shifty on their feet. The Cougars break out of the huddle up to the line of scrimmage. Empty backfield, 5 receivers out wide for the Cougars. Michael wants to pass, looking, got a man on a quick out, and he throws it in the dirt in front of him.
was not able to bring that in. It looked like it bounced up into his hands, and then he...
Christian Michael has just been off target since that first series where he made a couple of good throws. He has thrown, I think, and by my count, 5 or 6 incompletions in a row.
Yeah.
They need to get a little screen, a little bubble screen going to give him a little confidence to throw the ball and make some yardage right now. But they go back to that empty set again, empty backfield. Straight drop. Michael pulls it down and scrambles with it, caught at the line of scrimmage, and he drops ahead for a 3-yard gain. That'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Cougars.
I don't believe that was a design run. That looked like Christian Michael just improvising on his own.
I think it was, actually. I think that is one of the plays they love to run. Michael is every bit the running back that they need in that backfield, and it gives you the option of having a quarterback who can run it or throw it, depending on the read. So here we go. 3rd and 7, big down as they stick with that spread. Empty backfield for Michael. Motion across the formation. And now we've got a whistle, timeout, Cougars, as the coaches on the near side saw something they didn't like, and they call timeout. And that'll give us an opportunity to step aside for a quick timeout, too. We'll be right back.
Are you sick of paying bank fees just to talk to someone? Want to get out of the big banking world and be more than just an account number? Woodsboro Bank is committed to banking that truly serves the needs of their customers and Frederick County. You'll get personal small-town customer service at their 7 local offices. And with no-fee use of Woodsboro Bank's ATMs and all 32,000 all-point ATMs nationwide, you'll get big city convenience. Woodsboro Bank offers versatile checking accounts designed to accommodate your specific needs. Business owners can also appreciate the convenience and revenue-building power of Woodsboro Bank's many commercial services. Discover the many advantages of local-owned community banking.
Visit Woodsboro Bank at their new location on Frederick Road next to Mountain Gate Family Restaurant, or call them at 301.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Sentinels are back out on the field. There's the snap. Cougars have it. Michael's going to take a walk all the way to the backfield to the 12-yard line. Just good, solid defense there. So the ball's all the way back now to they're going to spot it right on the 11. No, 12. That's going to bring them 1st and 15 for the Cougars. The punter comes on, kicks it away, angles it to the sideline, kicks a knuckleball that goes out of bounds right at the 30, still walking, 35-yard line. Great field position for the Sentinels, and that knuckleball is going to cost them.
Yeah, you do not want that at this stage in the game. When you're down by 2-3 scores, that's the last thing you want is a bad punt.
Absolutely. So, great field position for the Sentinels. They're up 21-0 here in the second quarter. 7 minutes to go in the half. Handoff on the counter, around the end, into the hole, into the secondary, touchdown.
He is gone.
Nobody there. You could have driven a truck through that hole.
And that was Braden Askins.
Braden Askins on the 31-yard scamper into the end zone. Attack another 6 onto the board. And it goes from bad to worse for the Cougars. And I told you that bad kick would come back to haunt them.
Yes, indeed.
They had to, they can't, they're losing this field position control here. You turn over a short field to a team like this, and it'll cost you 7. And that's exactly what they're going to attempt to make it as 7 right here as the PAT takes the snap, the set, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So, the Sentinels have put 28 points on the board in this first half. 7 minutes to go in it, and the Cougars crowd is silenced.
Do you stick with what you've been doing, or do you change it up at this point?
Well, I think what you really have to do right here is stick with your game plan and just ignore the score and go with your strength and keep going at it. And, everything will turn around. It's not out of reach yet, but substantially what we're seeing here is a really, really good football team. This kind of like reminds me of the Oakdale-Linganore game that we did early in the season.
Yeah, where it was unexpected. No one really saw it coming.
Yeah. All right, the ball's being teed up on the 40-yard line by the Sentinels, and we can expect a touchback on this one, I would think. Wouldn't you? Let's see what they do. All right. 2 receivers back deep on their own 5-yard line. Here's the run-up and the kick. High, end over end, deep kick. Almost goes through the goal post, Will. He almost kicked a field goal from 60 yards out. No wonder this kid is number 1 in the country.
Yeah, he really has a leg on him.
Wow, that was amazing. So the Cougars will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line with 7 minutes and 1 second on the clock to go in this first half. They think for certain they need to get a score or possession, but they haven't changed their strategy. They're still sticking with the empty backfield 5-man spread. Fakes a handoff, pulls it down, tries to run straight ahead, but he's caught in the backfield and tackled for loss.
Throughout the season, but yes.
And this is
almost know where the Catoctin players are going before they even do it.
It would seem. Switch to a spread pistol offense. One back in. Michael wants to pass, looking deep, got a man on the quick out, throws it over top. The defender gives him a bit of a shove and then throws his hands up in the air and says, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of accidental contact, but not enough to throw a flag.
Yeah, and the ball was uncatchable. It was thrown over the receiver. So Michael having trouble hooking up. The rhythm has been off on this entire first half for Christian Michael's passing game. And that was the key. That was what Doug Williams told us would be the key to this game, would be the ability to pass, put up points on the board, and score, move the chains and score on this team.
I mean, he completed his first one, but since then, I mean, it's at
he
least
looked really good in that first series, didn't he?
Yeah.
All right, same formation, motion. Hand off to the motion, back on the jet sweep, caught in the backfield and dropped for a 4-yard loss. So penetration, I think the key is that this first half, Fort Hill is winning the battle at the line of scrimmage on every play on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. They are just overpowering the Catoctin offensive and defensive lines and not letting them have anything, any kind of penetration, anything.
Once again, the Cougars will have to punt it away from their own end zone, and he kicks another flub out of bounds. It's going to give him an even better field position than the last kick.
Yeah, this one's shorter by at least 4
Well, he's already
yards.
down to the 29-yard line, 1st and 10.
And I mean, this is almost like a red zone drill for Fort Hill.
That's a net kick of 11 yards. I mean, I've seen, JV can kick at 11 yards. Yeah, that punting game has not worked for the Cougars today. Here comes the Sentinel. Out to the line of scrimmage. Double wing set. One receiver split to the left. Beal under center. Long count. Hands off to the right back. Around the end. Caught from behind and dragged down after a 2-yard gain.
Great job by Catoctin linebacker. I believe that's number 9.
The thing that I see is happening is Fort Sentinel is getting to the outside on every play. They're beating Catoctin to the outside on every play. It's really a question of strength of the line of scrimmage and team speed.
Yeah,
Catoctin having trouble.
Making the correct pursuit angles.
Sentinels. Long count. Reverse. Around the right end. On his feet up the sideline, spins, and he's met and dropped in the secondary, but he got a first down as he moves it all the way out to the 16-yard line. Fresh set of downs for the Sentinels.
I tell you what, Blake Beal, the starting quarterback for Big Red, the Fort Hill, he can hard count, with the best of them.
All right, here we go. Apologize with this going right into the glare here. Sun is right above the play. I'm having trouble seeing. Again, counter motion, off tackle, this time met at the line of scrimmage and dropped. 4 players on Catoctin in white jerseys, push him back and drop him. So that's going to bring him 2nd and 10. No gain on the play for the Sentinels, sticking with that counter motion throughout this game in their run game. Double wing set now. Sentinels have it. Beal down under center, motion. Right wing across, pitch to the deep left back, around the end, out to the edge, turns it upfield and gets, let's call it 8 yards on the carry. And again, they're always the first one to the outside edge. So the Cougars unable to see. Anytime that guy motions across, he's going to be the lead blocker on that pitch to the outside, and the Cougars not picking up on that.
No, they aren't.
Because if I'm standing in the right linebacker position and I see that guy motioning towards me, okay, I'm going to yell at my corner, outside, outside.
Definitely a halftime adjustment. Coach Williams and Coach Dumars will be looking at.
2nd and 2 for the Sentinels with the ball on the 10. Motion the other way. Wherever they motion, and now they're running to the edge, and it's a foot race to the pylon, and they win it. So team speed all the way, Will.
Yep, and that was Carter Swan. We've been mentioning his name a lot today. He's been playing lights out.
And just that quickly, we've got a 36-point lead for Fort Hill here on their own home turf. And the first half has... Can you see the board and tell it's so...
It is at 328.
328 on the board.
Mm-hmm.
The board's at the east end of the field where the sun is. Snap, set, kick is up, and the kick is good. 35 points on the board, none for Catoctin, and that's 3 minutes to go in the first half. The Cougars are stunned. All right, we'll step aside for a quick break. Be right back after this important commercial message.
I performed for our high school choir director, who taught me to breathe from the diaphragm and sing from the heart.
Speech, debate, theater, music. The performing arts teach valuable life lessons that typically aren't taught in the classroom. They help high school students learn leadership skills that prepare them to enjoy more satisfying, productive lives.
Hey, I've got a question for you. Who will you perform for?
This message presented by the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association and the high school in your community.
All right, welcome back. Ball teed up on the 40. Fort Hill ready to kick off. There's the deep kick. Underneath the crossbar. 60 yards into the end zone. What is that? The 7. We've got, let's see. 5 scores on the board and 6 kickoff. Yeah, that's 6 times into the end zone. 6 times.
One of those almost almost going through the uprights.
Yeah, that one was just under the crossbar. All right, Cougars have going with that empty backfield again, the spread offense. Michael, straight drop, wants to pass. Got a man, quick out, caught on the slant, breaks a tackle into the second level secondary all the way out to the 35-yard line. And that is a nice 20-yard gain on the quick slant, which was working so well for them in that first quarter.
Yeah, it really was, and it looks like they're going back to it, or at least having more success with it. That was number 3, Eli Fry, on the catch.
Well, it keeps the pressure off the quarterback because it's so quick, the defense doesn't have a time to get anywhere, and the receiver protects the ball by getting his body in front of it. So here we go. Trips left. Read option, and he keeps it and gets tackled for a loss of 3. You know, those red jerseys have been in the backfield all day, Will.
Yeah, the Catoctin offensive line cannot get any protection going. Fort Hill defensive line has a lot of speed, a lot of strength, and they know how to use it.
2nd and 13 for the Cougars as Michaels comes out, sticking with that trips right. The 2 slots talk it over, and now they're ready. Straight drop, quick hitter, knocked down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Batted down by one of the defensive linemen, got a hand on it.
And Catoctin is lucky that wasn't intercepted. A few seconds, but a second or two behind that was Carter Swan, who's playing inside linebacker on defense. And he almost brought that in.
Yeah, the ball took kind of a funny pop up into the air off the. Usually those are batted down, but this one popped up in the air, and it was a hold your breath moment for both sides of the field here. Spread formation. Shotgun. Michael. They drop into a zone in the defense. Michael wants to go deep. Got a man. Knocked away and intercepted. All the way down. No, he dropped it on the interception. That was almost a spectacular interception, but at the last second, he dropped it, and it falls incomplete, and the punting unit comes out on the field. So the Cougars get a nice 20-yard strike on their first play, and then 4 consecutive plays for no gain. Actually, they lost 3, and will punt. Good snap. Kick angles out of bounds, aiming for the far sideline. I think, let's see. The ball was spotted. The line of scrimmage was the 35. He kicked it out of bounds at the 44. That is a net. That is a net 9-yard punt.
Can't have that.
9-yard punt. I mean, you can respect the speed of those deep receivers all day, but that's the story of this game, I'm afraid. So, a short field again for the Sentinels as they bring that high-powered offense, which has put 35 up on the board here with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Motion across the formation. Wants to pass. They throw their own quick slant. He brings it in off his fingertips, and he's tackled in the secondary after a 12-yard gain.
Now, that is a receiver we haven't seen today, Wyatt Brem, on the catch, number 1.
And he caught that on his fingertips, had a little trouble putting it away because he was being tackled as he was trying to make the reception. But a great catch there by the Sentinels to move the chains. Timeout on the field. The Cougars call timeout here on the near side, and that'll give us an opportunity to thank some of our great sponsors for making this game possible. One of them is Catoctin Orchards. The Black family up there for generations has been bringing us great fruit and vegetables. Oh my goodness, pies and cakes and all kinds of wonderful things up there. Catoctin Orchards right above the Shamrock, just there on Route 15. Everybody knows where the Catoctin Orchards is. What a great place to go. If you need to get things for your Thanksgiving table, if you want fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, and everything to adorn your Thanksgiving table coming up next week, go up there to Catoctin Orchards. Tell the Black family you heard about it right here on WTHU as the Sentinels come out on the field. 35-point lead with 1:45 to go in the half. The Sentinels have the ball, 1st and 10 on the Cougars' 30.
Looks like the Sentinels are waiting for the ref to give them the go-ahead.
And he does. Beal under center. Double wing, motion across, fakes the pitch, wants to pass, looking deep, plenty of time, and then he pulls it down and scrambles, bounces it out to the outside, lots of green turf, and he runs it out of bounds on the far side of the field after a first down gain to the 20.
And Catoctin, if they got a hit on Beal, that could have been a fumble. He was carrying that like a loaf of bread.
Yeah, he had it way out there, but I'll tell you what, there was no one covering him whatsoever. Everybody, the whole middle interior of that defensive field beyond the line of scrimmage was wide open for Beal. And as soon as his receivers cleared, he took off.
They've given no reason for the defense to spy the quarterback.
Yes.
I mean, everything's been run so far.
Yes. They flip the formation to the left side. Wants to pass again, rolling to his left, stops, set, throws, caught. All the way down, drags him down to the 9-yard line on an empty leg pull, and it's down at the 9, and that's the first down yardage. It'll be first and goal for the Sentinels.
He was giving Travis Fields a lot of trouble there. That's a hard matchup right there. Smith has at least 5 inches on him.
Sentinels threatening now here with 1:21 to go in the half and a 35-point lead. Beal under center. Motion. Handoff on the jet sweep around the right end. Cuts it up and into the end zone. No signal yet. Right at the goal line. And he's brought down on the 1-yard line.
And that's one of the other Fort Hill running backs, Tyreek Powell. Swan looks like he's getting a little break.
So it'll be second and goal from the 1 for the Sentinels, and they just want to punch it in with 40 seconds to go in the half. At the 1-yard line, here we go. Look for the sneak. Straight off tackle, quarterback keeper. Met at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Exactly as you said. Quarterback keeper. That was snuffed out by the Catoctin defensive line.
Yeah, and he didn't sneak it. He picked it up and ran off tackle or off guard with it. Headed for that just outside the guard, and it wasn't there. Defense was able to react, and we've got a timeout on the field. With 26 seconds to go, looks like the Sentinels have called timeout, threatening to score again. Once again, our great sponsors for this game, one of them, DentedToolbox.com. They're located over there, right there across the street from the 7-Eleven in Lewistown on Route 15, across from Beckley's RV. They specialize with over 600 new truck toolboxes in stock. They have minor cosmetic flaws in them, but they get up to 50% off on the manufacturer's suggested retail. They include the keys and a warranty, brands like WeatherGuard, UWS, Delta, and more. They're located right there off of Route 15 in that little shopping center across the street, across Route 15 from the 7-Eleven. That's DentedToolbox.com, one of our great sponsors of today's high school football playoff game. Sentinels are ready now. Beal under center. Long count. Motion. Off tackle. Straight ahead. Touchdown.
And Carter Swan again on the touchdown from about 2 yards out.
So they have 41 up on the board, and who'd have thunk it?
Catoctin they haven't faced this kind of speed. They haven't faced this kind of strength before.
They really haven't. This is not. I mean, one thing that's kind of a telltale in today's what we're seeing out here. When I was looking earlier in the week doing the research on this game, I spotted something interesting about Fort Hill that I didn't really kind of jumped out at me. They've scored 261 points in their last 5 games.
Wow.
So the last close game they played was 6 weeks ago against Southern. They barely beat Southern. Then all of a sudden, I don't know what woke them up or what happened after that Southern game. But since then, in their last 5 games, they've scored 261 points. And look at this. They've only given up 22 points in 5 games, and 3 of those were shutouts.
Talk about a stout defense.
Oh, man. I mean, what you're really looking at here is a team that found its mojo. No other way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's continuing here against the Cougars tonight in this stunned crowd at Greenway Stadium with the sun glaring out of the southeast now in our faces. Hard to see even the field. And that's we thought it was great to be doing a 2:00 game, but we didn't think about that.
No, we didn't.
If this was Friday Night Lights, we'd be able to see everything. But right now, having a lot of difficulty. I know that any video that's going on here would be probably being washed out by the glare as well. So we'll do the best we can with what we got. Nice end over end deep kickoff just under the crossbar again. And this guy, Danny King, is unbelievable.
This guy means business.
All right, the Cougars have 24 seconds on the clock, down 42-0. What do? Take a knee to the dressing room?
Yeah, I would take a knee to the dressing room and
regroup.
Yeah.
Right.
Make some halftime adjustments.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Well, let's see what Coach Williams has dialed up for his team. I know Coach Williams is not the kind of guy to go knee down. I expect him to take one deep shot at it right here. Here we go. Trips left. Hand off to the lone back straight ahead. Michaels pulls it out on the read. Takes it off tackle, and he's slammed to the ground after a 4-yard gain. That'll take the clock down to 15 seconds, and they'll just let it run out now.
See, that will work against some teams, but a team with this much speed on the edge, it just won't work.
So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of 24 minutes of action here at Greenway Stadium, the Fort Hill Sentinels 42, the Catoctin Cougars nothing. We'll be right back.
Daily specials are great this time of year at the Shamrock in Thurmont, like corned beef and cabbage every Monday, or prime rib every Wednesday, and for a limited time, the famous Shamrock pot roast. Other great and tasty favorites include the Shamrock's hefty fried oyster sandwiches, specially created salads, and drink specials too. Relax in the pub or dining room, and with the holidays here, buy a Shamrock gift certificate. Always appreciated. Come on by and have an amazing dining experience at the Shamrock on US 15 Thurmont or online at shamrockrestaurant.com. Closed Tuesdays. MedOne Pharmacy is the largest locally owned and operated pharmacy in Frederick County. MedOne Pharmacy has 4 locations in Brunswick, Emmitsburg, Middletown, and Thurmont to provide you with convenience, experience, service, tradition, and value. MedOne Pharmacy. Check out their website at med1pharmacy.com. That's MEDONE pharmacy.com today. Or for more information, call them at 301-271-2223.
MedOne Pharmacy is a proud sponsor of Frederick County Public School Athletics.
Gettysburg Auto Auction is looking for additional buyers for our increased car volume. So if you're in the market for a new used car, try this little auction. Gettysburg Auto Auction continues to have the highest customer satisfaction and lowest fees of any auto auction. And our exclusive bid drive-by program allows you to drive your car before you buy it. If you missed out on Gettysburg Auto Auction's Thursday night sale, stop by on Friday for our leftover Friday sale, where any vehicle still available can be bought on the spot. Gettysburg Auto Auction is located on Route 15 at the Maryland-Pennsylvania line, the Steinway exit. For directions and a sampling of upcoming vehicles, visit GettyAuto.com. Gettysburg Auto Auction, the little auction with the new start time of 6 p.m. and looking for additional buyers to go with our influx of vehicles.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a really tough first half for the hometown Catoctin Cougars, down 42-0. Will, we're looking at a running clock in the second half with this score.
Yeah, we are. For those that don't know, a running clock starts in the second half once the team is above 35 points. Am I correct?
Yeah. 35 points or more, and the clock runs. It'll only stop for player injuries or official timeouts on the field. Incompletions, changes of possession, all that, the clock continues to run. And you can literally have a game end in, well, I mean, think about it. You've got 24 minutes. You could have a game end in 24 minutes in the second half with a running clock. So the only, even if the Cougars were to score a touchdown coming out of the dressing room, we would still be in the running clock mode. So what do you think Coach Williams and Coach Dumars is going to say in the locker room to this team?
Well, I think...
So you're going to give the Newt Rockney speech? Says, we can still win this game. We're still in it, guys. We're down 6 scores. Tough one. But you know what? It's not over till it's over.
No, and for
I'm sorry, that's a cliche, but that is the truth. I've seen stranger things happen. Well, look at when we came on the air, we were looking at a tie game between Alabama and Citadel. Yeah. How strange is that? Who'd have expected that, right? So I don't know. Well, knowing they have, continue to have fun and enjoy it, and just go out there and do the best you can. And that's all they can do. That's what they do. That's how they do it. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, again, want to thank our sponsors for making this game possible. We couldn't do it without you, and that's Catoctin Orchards, Catoctin Wildlife Preserve, Center of Life Chiropractic. Over there, Dr. John. Have you ever gotten your back adjusted by Dr. John?
Not yet, but I plan on it.
Yeah, I would do it. He's amazing. Dr. John's over there, right there on Water Street, next to the MedOne Pharmacy. Dr. John is an amazing chiropractor, and he helps so many people. And you know what? I was over there the other day, and I got an adjustment from him, and he was out front adjusting a dog.
Really?
Yeah, he did an adjustment on an old dog with arthritis, and the dog was so happy to see him. It was so cute. So if you've got a bad back or a bad dog, take him over to Dr. John, Center of Life Chiropractic. To Cousins Ace Hardware of Thurmont, that's where we get all our stuff for the radio station. VentedToolbox.com. Our friends up there in Emmitsburg and Emmitsburg Glass. Happy Dog Groomers over in Frederick. Great dog grooming, a wonderful place. Laura, they just were voted the best of the best for 2018 in Frederick. Mix Plumbing and Heating, Mix over there, right there behind Napa Auto in downtown Thurmont. The best plumbing and heating. They've taken good care of our pipes for a while now, and they're all over there. Hometown guys and gals, they know Thurmont, they know Emmitsburg, they can take great care of you. Our buddies up there on the hill at Schuff's Meat Market, up on the Catoctin Hill there. Oh my goodness, what can I say about Schuff's Meat Market, except if you want to get your Thanksgiving trimmings, go on up there to Schuff's Meat Market. And finally, Woodsboro Bank, the bank where WTHU Cool 1450 AM does all its banking at Woodsboro Bank. We stand behind them, and they stand behind us, and that's why we're here on the radio. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to step aside now for our halftime mix, and we'll be right back for the opening kickoff of the third quarter.
First quarter at Yankee Stadium for Notre Dame. They're playing Yankee Stadium. Yeah, we're in pinstripes. Oh, those uniforms you told me. The Shamrock Classic, yeah. 10-0. We're out of here by halftime. I like it. 61 total yards in the first half.
All right. So, the reason I have to do this is because if I keep it plugged in to the radio, when I play these songs, I get a copyright violation on YouTube, and they won't let me share it.
Yeah, I opened up the Oakdale Renewal game a few weeks ago, and it said copyright
Yeah,
violation.
that's what that was. I figured it out. I can override it, but it takes a couple of days to do that, and it hangs it up. Whereas at the end of today, I'll have to do is, and what's been really nice, that's why the last couple of games, I've done the halftime shows. So that, we're not going to get any issues with that.
No.
Even if they play Beatles
It's
from the band.
Yeah.
It's the actual song title itself.
And I know YouTube has like programs that
Scrub it manually.
Brought to you by Smart
But,
Computers in the Vale. Make a smart choice by phoning 309.
I found it just easier to do it this way and warn everybody.
Smart Choice Computers in the Vale. First half statistics. Catoctin total 3 first downs, 1 on the ground, 2 by the pass. For Fort Hill, a total of 16 first downs, 13 on the
Man, that sun is fierce. It hurts.
13 carries for a total of 5 yards. On the other side of the ledger, Fort Hill used 5 ball carriers.
You hear that?
28 carries,
13 carries for 5 yards, right there.
Yeah, and then 3 first downs.
9 carries, 89 yards, 3 touchdowns. Braden Askins, 6 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. Tyree Powell, 10 carries, 56 yards. That is total balance by an offense in the first half. Passing department for the
13 rushes, 5 yards.
Fine quarterback Christian Michael is only 4 of 16.
4 of 16
yards. For Fort Hill, Blake Beal would have been 4 of 4, but the one complete was called back on the penalty. He was perfect, 3 for 3 for 54 yards. Remember, he was 56 against Allegheny. Total offense for Catoctin in the first half, 61 yards. Fort Hill, 305.
I'm going to hit the head. Be back.
10 yards. Fort Hill, 3 for 15. The only interception was a big one. That was by Fort Hill's Colton Crabtree on the first possession by Catoctin. He returned it 44 yards for Fort Hill's first score. Only 1 fumble. That was by the Sentinels late in the first half, driving toward the scoreboard. Completed pass, but the receiver fumbled the ball. It was recovered by Catoctin's Travis Fields, he punted the ball 6 times in the first half for 28.1 yard average. Danny King, here's the stat right there. I've never seen Danny King really punt. His punt traveled a beautiful 44 yards for Fort Hill. He was going for the old coffee. And he almost made it. He almost did. A heck of a kick. What a weapon. Oh, they do it all ways here at Fort Hill. And here's another key stat in that first half. Time of possession, Fort Hill scored 42 points in 13 minutes and 28 seconds to Catoctin's 10:32. They're controlling the scoreboard and the clock in that first half.
Mike, you know, we're not trying to pile on Catoctin, but they've not seen this kind of football.
Well, they haven't. I mean, we don't know what kind of teams they have, you know, east of here as far as Frederick County and Howard and Carroll. But, yeah, they're up against it here this afternoon. And of course, we all know what Tim put out. Western Maryland football, Fort Hill football, I mean, whatever you want to call it, it is Western Maryland football. And Catoctin getting a taste of that this afternoon. And we're going to move on to our trivia question of the game, brought to you each and every game by the K&K Insurance Agency. They are a part of our community, supporting our student athletes. See Dave, Shane, and Chad Kryland, K&K Insurance, located 63 Henderson Avenue, right here in Cumberland. They proudly represent the area insurance group, and our question has to deal with girls basketball since practice started on Thursday. It goes like this: 2017-2018 girls basketball season, 5 area players reached 1,000 career points total. Can you name them and their players?
I believe one of them was the young lady,
They are Casey Ricker from Calvary Christian.
Oh, she's a great player. Played for Coach Kane.
Abby Beeman from Frankfurt, Emily Carl from Hampshire, Alexi Arnold from Mountain Ridge, and right here in Cumberland, Kiera Bible from Bishop Walk. You mentioned those 5 young ladies and their schools. You were correct. And we thank K&K Insurance for sponsoring our football trivia questions each and every game during the 2018 high school football season.
Michael, any down
I wish I had a sheet.
We'll be back here next week. And
Yeah.
like Abbott Graves in Fort Hill and
do nothing about Havre de Grace, but the Catoctin.
Let's see, 8 minutes to go.
And they're down 40.
Well, the good news is we'll get out of here fast.
Yeah.
I hate getting gashed like this and have to sit and painfully do a game like this on the radio.
Prepare to come up probably Friday night. I would add it.
It is what it is.
And the Sentinels' quest to the return to Navy Marine Corps Stadium will begin. And Mike, you've seen an awful lot of high school football.
So we'll go
in your years.
Lingler next week.
This wasn't supposed to be it.
I think Oakdale's playing them.
They're playing Glenelg.
No. No. Somebody close to that. I saw it in the paper this morning, but it wasn't Glenelg. Was it?
They've been together all
I can't remember.
No. Well, you know,
If I could see, I could tell you.
I got the 1A.
Here, I got it.
Check the
This works.
2 or 4.
Obviously, very early in the season. This is 4 years of stadium. And it's their 9th in its own, but this is the 10th time they played here. I mean, it is something.
Eastern Tech.
It's just amazing that they have.
Really? That's surprising.
2A North, Eastern Tech.
How impressed are you with how they improved to the beginning of the season? I mean, they lost a lot of that team last year. I've said it with homecoming.
Look, those steps are treated.
It amazes me how well they improve game by game. And that's the goal. We get better by homecoming and we keep getting playoffs. And they're doing that. And they've always done that. And I think it's because they keep repping and repping the same thing over and over. And he said, you know, the offense wasn't quite up to where the defense. You keep repping, it's going to get there. And suppose you were scouting them, you were playing them next year.
It's like a train coming.
What have you seen? You're down there on the sidelines. What would you try to exploit, offensively or defensively? Well, with their offense, they go that unbalanced, and it's so the normal person doesn't see it because there's a split end and there's a wing to that side, and that's where the extra lineman is. So, and the line for Catoctin has.
Here we go.
Fort Hill has 2 guys, a guard and a tackle.
So they're going to face Huntingtown or Franklin or Chesapeake Double A.
How much of their success offensively?
They haven't played yet. They're playing now. Okay, so they're going to face either Franklin or Chesapeake Double A at Linganore. The game's going on right now.
And Linganore is automatic number 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Automatic.
That's like the winner of this is automatic number 2. They're reseeded as number 2.
Right.
Yeah, the winner of this, I mentioned it earlier. The winner of this plays Havre de Grace. Havre de Grace.
Well, I can tell you right now,
It's going to be Dunbar and Fort Hill again.
the winner of this game faces Dunbar. I think.
No, Dunbar hosts Douglas PG.
Who? What?
Douglas PG.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, then they play Havre de Grace. So the winner of this game plays Havre de Grace.
Yeah.
All right. It'll be here. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's a long way.
Yeah, can you imagine living in Havre de Grace and having to go to Cumberland?
Do you need any stats right now?
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I mean, I need it back.
Oh, okay, no, we got most of it then. We overheard it. Thank you.
I thought you went to Mass.
4 minutes.
I'm going tomorrow night.
We should go to St. Mary's instead of El Hole and Limited.
How about that church? Where's that?
Notre Dame 13-0.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody refer to a church.
I just did, and I'll say it again Sunday.
May I ask what is it?
St. Andrews. Dumb.
Do you think he was going to?
Hey, look at that.
I don't like it. I'm going to.
Okay. Hit Wake Forest, that's fine. 34-13. Penn State 20-0, is that fine?
Yeah. 20, it wasn't 20 nothing, it was 27.
27-0.
No, 22-7.
27, that's fine.
From the Cougars.
How about Ohio State, Maryland, 38 apiece?
Still tied. Maryland had a touchdown, was just come off the board of yeah, I thought Ohio State Maryland was going to fake punts. They need that to be boiled.
AC. 24 minutes of time, half an hour out of it.
Unless they score a couple touchdowns.
Oh, come
No?
No.
Johnny, I'll put a water over there. Could you grab it for me? Thanks.
Yeah, they're getting the line of scrimmage.
I mean,
Both sides.
Fort Hill scoring 30-yard touchdowns. Nobody's touching them.
Feeling deep. I know they play Fort Hill.
And they enjoy it.
After this, please.
Remember Ron said something in the pregame, and I said that sums up.
That would be a really good matchup. Fort Hill versus Martinsburg.
That's what they love.
Yeah.
Martinsburg is like the top team in West Virginia. But I don't know if they would ever play.
Yeah, we want to thank Bill Smith and his wife Diane down at Printers Inc. for once again being part of our broadcast this season. Printers Inc. on Virginia Avenue, where time and quality are important. At Printers Inc., they do it all. 42-0. And of course, Bill and Diane are big Fort Hill fans, Jim. So they're very happy as assembled all over Catoctin here as we get ready to start the second half.
And let's go to our American Insurance scoreboard. Final score, Penn State 20, Rutgers 7. Maryland and Ohio State are tied at 38 late in the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh beat Wake Forest 34-13. And Notre Dame leads Syracuse 13-0 at Yankee Stadium. And that is your American Insurance scoreboard.
Jim, I don't know if you heard our conversation at halftime, but asking Coach Kane if he was scouting Fort Hill, what he would look for to maybe exploit. And he would come up with a whole lot. And I can't blame him. I don't know what you would do. Coach Williams, Catoctin head coach, veteran guy, good guy, at halftime sure had his work done out for him to come up with some words of inspiration because Catoctin has just never been in this game.
No, they have played, Mike was talking to you about who they play, and, the football's improved east of here, but Fort Hill has just taken it exponentially up. They really have.
I wonder sometimes, Jim, with people that aren't able to get out and see Fort Hill play in person and listen to us. I hope they listen to us. By the way, a gentleman stopped me out back and said, you guys are a lot of fun to listen to. I love it when you do Fort Hill games. He was decked in red from head to toe.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, he said you have fun with it. Thank him for that. He also said he voted for me. So I thanked him for that also. But no, he did say that. A gentleman very kind to come up and to say that. But
did he say? Did he?
All right, here we go.
He did not. He thought I was the morning mayor, Dave Idelot.
All right.
Which really frightened me because you never know. But if you're not able to come out and see Fort Hill, you can't. I don't guess you can really appreciate it. How thorough the preparation is. That's the thing. Besides the talent and numbers, the coach is prepared for a team like anything.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at Greenway Stadium, where we've seen one of the most impressive first-half performances of the year by the Fort Hill Sentinels. Big Red has put up 42 points on the board, and we're in a running clock here in the second half over the Catoctin Cougars. The ball is teed up on the field. The Fort Hill Sentinels kicked off to the Cougars in the opening kickoff, so the Cougars will return the favor now. The Sentinels will get the ball in their own territory here to begin this third period. And what a stunner.
Well, oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Fort Hill's put up 16 first downs and 305 yards in the first half alone.
Whoa. All right, line drive, kick, rolls up, taken at the 21, out to the 25, cuts left, backs up, goes to the 30, breaks the tackle and falls down at the 35.
At about the 35-yard
Good return.
line.
Yep, that's a 14-yard return. by the kick receiver for the Sentinels, where quarterback Beal will bring his team out 1st and 10 on their own 35. Some more of those stats from the first half there.
For Catoctin, if I overheard them right, only 3 first downs, 13 rushes for at least 5 yards.
Christian Michael was 4 of 16 in the first half. Double wing to the right. They've got 2 wings on the right. They hand off around off right tackle into the secondary. He's going to go all the way. It's going to be a 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 touchdown. So the opening possession of the third quarter, the Fort Hill Sentinels run the ball 70 yards for a score.
I think that was that reverse that they ran earlier.
Now that was an unusual. They double wing set it. In other words, they had 2 wingbacks on the right side of the formation instead of having a a single wing double side. And they ran around. In other words, power right is essentially a power right play. Okay, here comes that extra point attempt. There's the snap to set the kick is up, and he drills it straight through. And just that quickly, we have a 49-point game. 49-0, Fort Hill Sentinels over the Cougars. And this must be reminiscent of what happened last week to Southern Garrett. Because the Southern Garrett and Catoctin played a fairly close game in their last meeting, right?
Yeah.
It's like a 1-point game, right?
Yeah.
And last week, this same Fort Hill team just absolutely unpacked and demolished the Southern Garrett team. And, it kind of looks the same here tonight.
Yeah, they scored 45 points in that first half last week.
It would have been a shutout if they hadn't put in their second and third strings at the end of the game and gave Southern Garrett a score. So, all right. So now the Sentinels will tee the ball up on the 40. They'll kick off deep to the Cougars, who will take it back on their own 5-yard line. Of course, they won't take it at all because this guy has kicked it out of the end zone almost over the crossbar 6 straight times in a row.
You don't see that in high school.
Braden Askins, 65
Here we go.
yards on that one. He has 7 carries in the game, 130 yards. And
There's
2
the run up
touchdowns.
and the kick. And that one went same spot, just underneath the crossbar by about 5 yards. Drops short just a little bit. 60 yards into the end zone for a touchback. Oakdale has a kicker like that.
Yes.
He can kick it deep.
Yeah, Justin Ritter, but I don't believe he's as highly ranked as
No, Justin Ritter is highly ranked in the state of Maryland, but this guy's being recruited by Alabama. Say Nick Saban, say no more, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. 1st and 10 for the Cougars as they go trips right. Michael, long count now. Straight drop, wants to pass, looking deep, floats it up on a go pattern. He has to stop and come back to it, and he catches it. He makes the catch at the 50-yard line. That's a 30-yard catch all the way out to the 50. The receiver kept running, and the defender kept running. The receiver had to stop and come back to the ball.
Yeah, and that was number 81, Hunter Grimes, the senior, on the reception.
Feel good about coming out and doing that right off the bat.
Ball on the 50-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Cougars. I don't think they've made it into Sentinel territory so far in this game. Michaels with a quick out, throws it away, out of bounds. And you notice something interesting on every play. Fort Hill is hitting people.
Yeah.
Even on the plays that fall incomplete, somebody's going to get hit out there.
Well, Bremen Plummer will putting the pincer movement on there. I was saying about other great defensive end tandems. The Steelers in the heyday, the Steel Curtain days, had LC.
2nd and 10 for the Cougars with the ball right on the midfield stripe as Christian Michael brings his team out, trips right. One lone receiver to the far side of the field.
Roger Brown.
Straight drop. Got some pressure. Throws it on the slant. Slides. Incomplete. So he threw it in the only spot he could to keep it from being picked. And it goes into the turf as the receiver tries to do a slide in the second base catch. and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, it just bobbled right out of his hands on that one. That was number 3, Eli Fry, interception.
Jim Marshall, Gary Larson.
Well, with the intended receiver.
And the Pearson Force.
Here come the Cougars out to the line of scrimmage now.
Lamar Lundy and Roger Brown.
5 receivers, empty backfield for Michael.
Tries it again at midfield.
3rd and 10.
Empty set.
Got some pressure, has to step up into it, and he's sacked. So he can't step up fast enough to avoid the rush. And I think Michael's hurt.
Yeah,
He gets up, runs to the sideline, not sure what happened, but the punting unit comes out on the field. As Michael's got his hands on his hip, he stays in the game. He's going to gut it out. That's a tough character right there, let me tell you. So they're going to go for it. 4th and call it 18 for the Cougars, and they're going for it. Why not? Right?
What do you got to lose at this point?
Well, they had a 30-yard strike on their first possession there. I mean, in this drive. Spread formation, pistol backfield. Michael, straight drop, wants to pass, got pressure on both sides. That's a step up. He flings it away, and it's up for grabs. Oh, and there's a lot of contact down there on the near side of the field here, but no flag. Both players, I guess, immediately the Catoctin coaches are over there yapping at the referee and saying, hey, a lot of contact there on the near side of the field, but they rule it incomplete, and it's a turnover on downs, and the Sentinels will take over in the Catoctin 43-yard line, 1st and 10.
They're both fighting for the ball.
I was talking about before the field. Right.
I have no problem with that making that.
I like the fact that he was able to call that right in front of one of the.
All the way down to 4:53 to go. If you just joined us,
Thank you, Jim.
in a stunner, the Fort Hill Sentinels have jumped out to a 49-0 lead in a runaway rout of the Catoctin Cougars here at Greenway Stadium in Cumberland, Maryland. Beal under center, motion around back, hands off to the lone back, bounces, dives, stutter steps, and he's brought down after a short 3-yard gain, right at the 39-yard line.
That running back couldn't catch a number on that. He just kept his legs chugging and refused to be brought down. Gained at least, it would have been a 1-yard run if he was stopped at first contact, but he got at least 3, almost 4 on that.
This is a quick team. This is a really fast football team. They just get out in space and they make you miss.
Mm-hmm.
Beal with the count.
Long count this time by
Long snap count. He takes it, hands off, going around left tackle. Got a seam, breaks one tackle into the secondary, second level. 1st down yardage, 12-yard gain. And that'll move the chains as there was a gigantic hole off that left tackle.
Stop made this time by Cole Bowen again.
So the offensive line of the Sentinels continuing to part the sea and give their running backs lanes so they can get out in space and use their speed to defeat the Cougars. And it's worked all game as they quickly come out. 1st and 10 with the ball on the 31-yard line in Cougars territory. Long count again. Hand off to the lone back, straight ahead. Quick fullback trap up the middle. Give him a couple on the carry.
Now, the Sentinels have their, I believe their 2nd string offense in. Number 2 is at quarterback.
And again, we'll be here next weekend. Number
2 is at quarterback.
We don't have a number 2 on the roster.
Walker Apple.
Number 2 is Walker Apple.
Oh, that's the quarterback. Hello?
And splitting to the far side for the Sentinels, Andrew Smith. Double wing setup for the Sentinels. Apple again with that long count, sends the man in motion. He's going to keep it. Walker Apple off the left side to the 25. Dives down to about the 21 or 22-yard line. And he's stopped by Grimes with a lot of help that time from Elijah Moser.
And Tim Kaine, there was another strong performance by Blake Beal today. He did not throw any incompletions. He had that big touchdown run, too.
All right, we're back with you live. No, we're not. Our headsets are dead. Huh. Okay, let's do a commercial real quick and see if we can get it back.
service at a fair price. Brownie's Auto Repair employs only ASE.
Sentinels facing a 3rd and 2, 4 downs here from Snyder. Snyder, 5'10", 185-pounder, running hard. The secondary makes
All right.
the stop.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little technical glitch there on this end. We've resolved it. While we,
Sophomores up, but really junior, senior.
let's see, we're down to 1 minute to go in this third quarter. The Sentinels up 49-0, and it's 1st and 10 from the 12.
Homecoming week.
Double wing set motion across the formation. He sets on the right. He rolls to his right, wants to pass, looking, got pressure, going to take the sack. So the Cougars, I believe that might be the first sack of the game for the Cougars.
Yes, that is. That's their first sack. Really good play.
Yeah.
I mean, the linebackers came in flying on that.
And when we got kicked off the air a moment ago. We lost our internet feed for a moment. We were just getting ready to say that the quarterback that's in right now, is it Walker Apple?
Yes,
That's
Walker
the
Apple.
son of the coach, Todd Apple, of this team.
Yes.
The scores are amazing.
Todd Apple, a really good coach in his 10th season. With a look at this 128-14 record. My goodness. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of the third quarter with a running clock. We're down to 12 minutes on the clock, and this one's going to end quickly and mercilessly with a 49-0 lead with the Sentinels over the Cougars. So we'll be right back after this break.
Hey, you guys are in good shape and form. You are good. Watch out for you. You keep the dollars, too. Then I tell them we get paid $1,000 this scholarship.
Thank you for joining us today and all season long here on WCBC, along with Jim Zamias, Mike Conley, and today with us, we're happy to have Coach Kane on the sidelines. Fort Hill, as we go to the fourth quarter here in playoff action, 49, Catoctin nothing.
We've now entered the RAV4 fourth quarter. Check out the 2018 RAV4 at Younger Toyota in Hagerstown, the right choice for any adventure.
Second down and 20 for the Sentinels. The football resting on the Catoctin 22-yard line. A lot of clearance in there for the Sentinels, including the quarterback Walker Apple. Behind him is Nick Lamb, fullback. Probably start for about any other team in the area. Or at least play a lot. Apple again milking that play clock, and he gives off.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Sentinels have the ball, and a great leap, a hurdle over one of the players in the second level, and they take it all the way down to the 4-yard line on a 14-yard carry off the first down. As we change into the fields, we come all the way down to the it'll be first and goal. Now check that, it'll be 3rd and 3, just shy of the first down marker. 3rd and 3 from the 4 for the Sentinels. And they're threatening to put another one on the board, Will.
They pretty much have to get to the 1-yard line to get the first and goal.
All right, Sentinels come out on the field, break the huddle.
3rd and 2 at the 4.
Apple, long count, motion across the formation, turns and hands off to the deep back, straight ahead, all the way down to the 1-yard line where he's met and tackled after a 2-yard gain. But I believe that will move the chains. It does.
Yes, it will.
So that gives them the first down, and they're first and goal from the 1.
Right inside the 1-yard line. So Rock in this second half, the first play of the half, the 65-yard run.
This Fort Hill team is extremely disciplined. Even with the second-string quarterback in, their offensive line has not had any false starts.
Nope. And you see that when you start to see the subs come in. As the coaches try to get some of these guys, the guys that will move on playing experience, and some of the Cougars players will get in and play for their first time in a playoff game in their careers. There's off tackle straight ahead into the end zone, touchdown, Fort Sentinel.
and that was Jaden Haynes, the senior, on the touchdown.
And, you know, it just looked easy.
Yes, it did.
And the story of the game is what the left defensive tackle of the Cougars just did with his arms. He put them out in frustration, under grinds, and just kind of slapped his thighs and went, what a day. Here we go. PAT is on the field, Mr. Reliable. Danny King, set for the PAT. The snap. Bad snap, gets the kick down and kicks it right into the back of the center. Was that a backup? Was that Danny King or a... Number 44 was the kicker. Who's the number 44 on the roster?
That's number 14, Aaron Monk. Senior must be the backup kicker. They must have had
Number 14, okay.
They must have had the backup kicker, placeholder, and center.
So it wasn't Danny King, Mr. Reliable. It was number 14, Mr. Backup. And the PAT does not go. So we've got a 55-0 game with 9 minutes to go on a running clock here in Cumberland, Maryland. So Will, you know, we can now begin to look ahead towards next Friday, and we've got two teams in the mix. We've got Oakdale, and they're going to play at home. They're going to play against who was it we said? I can't remember now. Yeah, and then Linganore is going to play at home against either Franklin or Chesapeake AA, depending on what happens with that game today. So, our best bet to the Naval Academy at the Linganore Lancers with an opportunity to two-peat their state title as they move forward. Good solid team, two good solid teams. Both those teams will have a chance to go all the way, don't you think?
Absolutely, especially Oakdale. They, in their first league playoff 2A teams, I mean, in the state.
I think they're one of the strongest teams in the state regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one really good football team. And, you know, it occurs to me they may have already played their state championship, if you know what I mean.
That's definitely what I got from the Damascus game last night. I mean, especially with ending that 53-game record. That 53-game
that was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that puts Oakdale in the national record books, right? That's a great trivia question for Frederick County Scoreboard next year. All right. Michael, straight drop, quick slant off the fingertips of Fields. Incomplete.
Going back to that quick screen that they were running earlier.
Two-step drop.
And an update on the American Insurance scoreboard.
So, second and 10 for the Cougars on the 20. Clock's down to 6:55 to go. Fort Hill up 55-0 as the Cougars break the huddle. Spread formation. Shotgun backfield. They send the slot across the formation and hike the ball. Straight drop. Michael has pressure. Scrambles out to his right, throws it, caught, hooked up at the 45. And he's spun around and tackled and dropped right at the, call that the 35, 35-yard line.
Fields got lost in the coverage.
The Cougars from their own 35 as they come back out in the same formation. Back in, cuts it back out, being all day for them to throw that play.
The first successful screen of the day. There was a sack in.
All right, I stand corrected. Thank you. There's a penalty right off the bat before anybody even sets. And I think we had someone in the defense over the nose of the ball. It's going to be encroachment, I believe. Let's see the call. Yes, they counted off. It's going to be 5 yards against Fort Hill. Defensive encroachment. So that gives the Cougars a short first down at 1st and 5 now. Same play. They go right back to the line of scrimmage. Motion across. Straight drop. Michael wants to throw. Heaves it way up in the air to the outside. Oh, and there's the penalty.
There's the flag.
The defender dragged the receiver down before the ball even arrived. And that's going to be defensive pass interference.
Too much contact too early on that one.
Well, he grabbed him by the arm and flung him to the ground right before the ball arrived. So they're going to bring that one back. As they mark 4-yard line, I think this is best field position of the day for Catoctin.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
As they're down in Sentinels territory at the 34, 1st and 10. Michael brings them out. Spreads out wide, all those receivers. 4 in the pattern. Straight drop, wants to pass. Got some pressure, has to scramble to the outside. Caught from behind, but he gets the ball away. Throws right in front of it. Caught! Touchdown, Catoctin Cougars! What a play! The defenders tripped and fell, and the ball was a bullet right into the receiver's arms. And can you see who that was down there?
That is number 21. I want to say that's Carson
Sakari.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sakari on the touchdown catch, and the Cougars getting rid of that 0.
Christian Michael with the touchdown pass, and the other coach told Tim Kaine to keep playing, and they have.
So the Cougars put 6 up on the board here as they bring out their extra point conversion. They're going to go for the 2-point conversion spread. Michael wants to pass, looking, throws it away, incomplete. So the score will stand with 2:59 to go in the game. The Catoctin Cougars get on the board finally to make it a 55-6 game here at Greenway Stadium, and we'll be right back after this message.
You're listening to high school football on AM 1270 WCBC, 103.1 FM, and WCBCRadio.com. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. No, I'm not. Bring it back, please.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Catoctin has scored his first points of the game as they kick it out of bounds over on the near side, and there's the flag. So the ball's going to come out on the penalty on the kickoff as he kicked a kind of a line drive right straight at his own bench, right?
Yeah, he did.
That scoring drive was 80 yards in 4 plays. And an update on the American Insurance scoreboard.
All right, here we go.
Maryland 45, Ohio State 45. Second quarter.
Cougars come out on the field. Sentinels have the ball. We're down to 1:15 to go in the game. And they can just basically go into victory formation, can't they?
Yes, they can. They can.
I mean, that would be the respectable sportsmanlike thing to do at this point.
Yeah.
Crowd hasn't left. Everybody's still here. Nobody's getting up and leaving yet.
Exactly 1 minute to go in the ball.
That's down to 1 minute and under a minute now. And they're just going to let it run. Here comes the Sentinels out to the line of scrimmage.
And we'll have that for you on WCBC. 1st and 10 for Fort Hill.
Here we go. They'll get one snap off, probably a handoff. There that is. They hand off, going around the left end, bounces it in, caught, dragged down right at the line of scrimmage, no gain. That'll be the last play of the game. As we run under 20 seconds, 25 seconds, and counting. So, what a great year for these Catoctin Cougars with one of the most exciting games we've ever done last week against Boonesboro in the mud, a real thriller. Sentinels come out there. They will get one more snap off and a handoff. He's going around the left end, cuts it back up, and that's the last play of the game. Time has expired here at Greenway Stadium. The Fort Hill Sentinels have defeated the Catoctin Cougars 55-6 here and captured the 1A West Regional Championship to move on next Friday to play for the state semifinal and a chance to move on to the Naval Academy the week after.
Now, the winner of Fort Hill will play Havre de Grace next week at home.
Here at Fort Hill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Havre de Grace, boy, that's a long drive.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get any further away from both ends of the state to the other, right?
Mm-mm.
I wonder. I have to MapQuest that and see how far, and I bet you that's couple 100 miles.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah. So Havre de Grace coming here to Fort Hill next Friday?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, well, they better get some turkey in them before they come over here, because they're definitely going to need it.
Yeah.
This is a scary team.
This may be, I mean, next to Oakdale, this is the best team I've seen.
Yeah, you know,
in person.
that's a great thought, Will. I'd like to see this team play Oakdale. Wouldn't that be a great game?
Yeah, pitting Stein against Apple, that would be a very good matchup of coaches.
Well, we want to thank the entire Fort Hill staff here for giving us the opportunity to broadcast this great game, and want to thank you for tuning in. And we'll be moving over to Linganore High School next Friday night, Lord willing, and we'll bring you the Linganore. Linganore will play one of two teams. We haven't decided yet, but we'll wait to see. And we'll let you know. Just keep your eye on our inbox. Listen to 1450 AM, and you'll hear our next game promos that we run periodically, so that you'll know exactly what game is going to be playing. Check out our website, WTHU.org. Right there on the homepage, you'll see the game, the time, and the location as well. And of course, these games are archived in their entirety and available after the game to you right on WTHU.org. Go to our audio vault, click on high school football, see all the games from this year, watch them live and video, send them to your friends, share them, enjoy them, keep them on your own. You can download them and keep them on your own laptop for future reference and so forth and so on. Congratulations to the Catoctin Cougars, 10-2 on the season. Their season ends here tonight in Cumberland, Maryland. As I see all the coaches shaking hands down the field with each other, teams have met at midfield and are celebrating Fort Hill with a good, solid victory over Catoctin here. And this was not something we expected, was it?
No, I expected this to be a much closer game. I expected Catoctin to execute more. But hey, they came away with a score against a Fort Hill team that's beating people with straight discipline and pure speed. I mean,
well, the problem is when you don't see a team play, and we have never seen Fort Hill play.
Yeah, this is our.
You have no way of knowing. Mm-hmm. You just have the stats to look at, and the only stat that jumped out at me was that one I quoted earlier about that 261 points. 261 points in the last 5 games. My goodness. I mean, they're on a tear right now. I don't know if anybody's going to stop this team.
No one within the 1A, I think.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for tuning in to this great 1A West Regional Championship here live from Cumberland, Maryland. I want to thank the entire cool 1450 AM team. On behalf of them, my name is Michael Betteridge, doing your play-by-play. Will Burns, once again, great job on color analysis. A former Catoctin player yourself. How did it feel to watch your team here in the championship?
To see them come to Fort Hill, that has been a dream of mine personally since 2009 when I was a freshman and watched the varsity team win the state championship. I knew we were going to play either Dunbar or Fort Hill. And
yeah, you always end up doing that, right?
We saw the Dunbar game, but we never got the Fort Hill one. Here we are, but hey, I mean, I'm just proud of these Catoctin Cougars for how they've done this year.
Absolutely. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great weekend. Get ready for a big Turkey Day celebration next week and some more high school football. We'll bring it to you live. We want to finally thank our sponsors once again for making this entire game possible. Catoctin Orchards, Catoctin Wildlife Preserve, Center of Life Chiropractic, Cousins Ace Hardware of Thurmont, DentedToolbox.com, Emmetsburg Glass, Happy Dog Groomers, Mixed Plumbing and Heating, Schuff's Meat Market, and finally, Woodsboro Bank. Thank you for sponsoring the Catoctin Cougars throughout this season. We couldn't have done it without your help. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you once again. Have a great weekend on behalf of the entire cool 1450 AM team.
Tim, what you think of the Fort Hill performance?